Legend Total War here, and today we've got a Rate Your Doomstack video covering a Golden Order Gunpowder based Doomstack. We've got 4 Hellstorm rocket batteries, 3 Hellblaster volley guns, 6 Gunderman Surefires, 3 Warrior Priests, Empire Captain, Light Wizard, Life Wizard, and Emperor Karl Franz. And we're going up against 3 full armies, almost full armies, of Wood Elves, which are some of the most difficult enemies to fight on the field of battle. It is a desert map, which probably gives us a bit more of an advantage against them. If you were going to go into the forests and fighting them, where there's lots of hills and trees and obstructions, these units here would definitely perform a lot worse. But just going up against this many troops is definitely really ballsy. So if it can manage to win against this, that's pretty good. Anyway, let's see how it goes. The biggest weakness of this army is definitely going to be dealing with cavalry, because all it takes is 1 unit of cavalry to get at the artillery, and they're just all gone. Just gone. It doesn't even need to be at full strength, because these guys have like next to no melee capabilities. Alright, let's have a look at this map. Now, another thing with this army is that terrain is so important. If you get a bad map, kaput. Basically, you need to have a strong position, because if these guys here have line of sight obstructed, or the enemy go too wide, you're just not going to get much value out of them. Now, there's 2 ways to go about this, I think. We could put it here and start fighting them to begin with. There's a lot of cavalry in this first army here. That's a big concern. Or we could try to go back here. But if we go back here, we're probably going to hit a lot of dirt. At least when they start coming over that hill. But I might be able to use this to... I don't know. Another thing is that if we corner camp, it's more difficult to flank us. I don't think we've got enough time to move back, because the Wood Elves love to rush. Maybe we're better off in... No, look, it's not the best position. They're seems like theoretically the best one, but the problem is they're already within range right at the start. So, it actually isn't. And the problem with here is that we're just not going to be properly set up right at the start, and this is kind of in the way. It's probably hurting more than helping. So I'm going to set up over here. Oh, that's... Okay. I'm going to set up over here. No, see, this is what they see. I mean, I know they arc their shots a little bit. God damn it, this map is not perfect for us. I just don't have, like, a perfect line of sight. Otherwise, I'm leaning towards positioning here, but the enemy cavalry, just how many of them, it really concerns me against this. Because it only takes 1 of them to get to us. Just 1. And I think the further back we go, the longer we can shoot at them. Problem is, you're just not going to get a good shot in from there. I think if we move back at the start, it's a ballsy move to do that. Especially against Wood Elves. Doing it against like dwarfs or greenskins that aren't particularly fast, that can work, but ugh. I just want to get the best terrain we possibly can, and it's downhill from there. Okay, look, I'm just going to position myself here, and we're just going to see how it goes. We're not here necessarily to save a disaster battle, so I'll hold it here, which I think most people were probably going to hold. Either that position or here, which I really think would be bad. And the way I think that these artillery-based armies work best, especially with the Empire, is not by putting your forces in front of the Hellstorm rocket batteries, because if you do that, for example, let me just show you. If you do that, basically what's going to happen is, it's fine to begin with, but as the enemies start to get closer, this is, when they get to about here, the Hellstorm rocket batteries will start shooting our own troops. So basically we need to micro them to make sure we're shooting at their back line constantly. But the problem is the front line needs to be routed, or else if they get into combat with us, we're doomed. But if we do it this way, they can keep firing without any issues. But it does make our army wider, which is kind of a weakness against a fast enemy. So we're going to go around like this, pretty wide, to try to protect against flanking. Karl Franz will stand right behind them there. Because, yeah, they've got more cavalry than we do units to hold them back. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, oh, you know what this army really needs? A unit of melee infantry to, or like halberdiers to defeat the the fast units. Totally disagree. This is on legendary difficulty. Melee infantry lose to cavalry on legendary difficulty. Because these guys here have tons of experience, they do so much damage, they'll charge in, and honestly the bonus versus large from any halberdier isn't going to matter because our units rout at like 50% damage, whereas their units will fight to the fucking death. So it just won't work. So the only way to hold on to it, I think, is to have units that actually do kind of fight to the death, and don't obstruct our guns at all. So I agree with using heroes as opposed to melee infantry. Not saying that you can't use melee infantry if that's what you really want to use, but in my opinion, you will not get as good results out of it as heroes, especially in this situation here. Alright, we're going to put them all on guard mode. Another issue with this army here as well is that these take a long time to recruit, 15 turns each. That means it'll take 90 turns to get them. So this certainly isn't the kind of army you could just pump out the door early, especially as well because these are tier 5, you got to wait quite a while before you can get them. So I usually go an entire campaign without getting any Hill Blaster volley guns, just because I usually don't send my armies back to get 1 or 2 extra better artillery if they're already busy fighting, which is usually the case on legendary difficulty. Anyway, we're going to send the flying heroes out here, not Carl Franzo, just to keep their archers busy while we try to deal with their... I might go a little bit wider because they've got some magic spells. Yeah, just to try to keep their archers busy, not necessarily to waste their ammo. And just try to thin them out as much as we can. So yeah, dragon incoming here, flying units incoming. Okay. I don't mind if they're aiming at faster units. Honestly, their slower units are far less of a concern to me. But they should be aiming at least something instead of a single entity. Come on, come on. Good, they hit their own units there. Come on, move, move, move. It's a hefty Tempest. Yep, got me there. He'll come back. He'll come back. He just took damage too quickly. Alright, we got one of these. Let's use that reasonably early. There's a bunch of hidden units in there. But it was also pretty good they used up 2 Tempests on units that can heal, and now they'll have less magic for dealing with other... Oh, no, shit, get back. Okay. I think we mitigated a little bit of damage there. Get back over here. Okay, they don't seem to be trying to flank us too much, which is good. One of the good things about these units as well is that they have stalk. That can be useful, so that way the enemy don't really know where we are. Coming after Carl. Good. Carl will smash it. Get in over here a little bit. Okay, we want the Hellstorm rocket batteries shooting at their reinforcements over here, just because they're all nice and clustered up. It's going pretty well so far. Keep them distracted as long as possible. I'd rather not micro these guys at all. Just let them shoot at whatever they want. As long as they're not shooting at something completely useless, it's fine. Got a fireball there. Doesn't matter. Okay, I'm gonna need another regrowth. Don't have one. Let's take that. Where are you? Okay, how are we going with that regrowth? Ready? Go. Go. Another eagle down. That's by far the biggest threats. Okay, most of their fast units have been defeated now. That's great. Try to keep their archers as busy as possible. Cool. Good. Yeah, shooting at our gunners a little bit. It's okay. Just let the Hell Blaster volley gun shoot at whatever they want. Let's send Carl Franz in as well. He's... Yeah, since they don't have any more, like, really fast units, we don't need him to hang back and keep an eye on them. Okay, so far so good. Just gotta try to run back there. Oh, hang on, we got flyers coming in. Try to run back their Way Watchers because they're shredding our gunners up a bit. Oh, that's not good, that's not good. Good, do damage fast enough and they rout fairly quickly. Good. Okay, I don't think I need to net a Vamantok this, because I don't think they're going to prioritize going into melee without gunners. And they pretty much got shredded there anyway. Maybe I'll need to net them. Okay, looking pretty good here. Good, they're broken. Carfran's tanking quite a lot of shots here. What's his missile resist? 75%. I wouldn't be surprised if he's defeated Morgor. Which, that's good for this, but that's not necessarily easy to do, because Morgor is not something you can guarantee is even going to show up for you. I'll have to have a look at his equipment. Done that. Alright, let's get some heals down. And there's the army losses. It handled that pretty well. Like, they didn't get to the artillery. There was some bloody close calls there, though. And that was a very dangerous enemy army. You know, they hurt us a fair bit at the start with their Tempest, but in all honesty, that actually worked in our favor because they had less magic for damaging the really important units, and unless they actually kill the wizard, that didn't matter. Oh, look, he doesn't need to stay far back, so just don't worry about it. But yeah, that did really well. We had some fairly favorable ground, though, so that's good. But at no point as well were our artillery obstructed by melee infantry or other gunners in there, so they didn't inflict any friendly fire. But yeah, the numbers of kills and all this is all really good. They all performed really well. There's no way you're going to get a unit of Halberdier to 157 kills against anything. Not in this difficulty. Alright, now let's have a look at how did he manage to get 75% missile resistance. It doesn't look like he did actually kill Morgor. 65% missile resistance at the moment, but it was 75 in the battle. I'm not sure, maybe there was an ability that went active. I'm not entirely certain. Or maybe somebody had an aura. Still just trying to find where it is because I want to know. Doesn't look like he's got anything that provides extra missile resistance in the traits. No. No, I don't know. Just, I don't know. Just got loads of missile resistance. Not entirely sure how he did it. Just focused on skill tree, I guess. Not entirely sure. But anyway, that was a very strong army against this. Now, would I rate this 10 out of 10? No, definitely not. This has a lot of weaknesses. And 10 out of 10 is really reserved for armies that are basically unbeatable. And this is not unbeatable. You cop a bad map, or you go up against something that's got too many flyers, too many fast units or just overwhelms you in general. You get pincered. There are too many situations where you can get totally screwed with this army. So it's very much a fair weather Doomstack, as in, it's great if all the conditions are right for you. And all the conditions were kind of right for us there. I mean, we managed to funnel them fairly close. Like, they didn't flank us. So that was quite useful that they didn't do that. So I'd probably rate this like 7 out of 10. Like, it was only barely a Doomstack. Because the situation was good. Like, they handled a lot of force. But they funneled into a cone for us to just annihilate them. And too many times I've seen that the AI is not necessarily going to do that all the time. So I reckon in those sort of situations, this would really sort to falter. The heroes are good. It's a good army. It's a good army. And it's very difficult, I think, to get a Empire Doomstack to a 10 out of 10. The closest thing I think you're going to get is the Steam Tank Doomstack. And which is also really inconvenient to recruit. And that's another point as well. These ones here, just taking so long to recruit. This is just not an easily accessible army. It's fully trained up and everything. So you're not going to get this before, I'd say, turn 150. If you're lucky. If you're going for it. Maybe a little bit earlier if you're really lucky. But it is a good army. So I think 7 out of 10 is a fair score for it. Because that qualifies it as a Doomstack. But I see that there's a lot of situations here that it just won't handle, which is pretty much the case with the Empire. They're just not the kind of faction that can just build an army and it'll handle everything. It's really difficult to do that. It'll handle sieges okay. I suppose you rely pretty heavily on magic. Hellstorm rocket batteries do okay in sieges. Guns are a little bit tricky to use, but you can use them. It's not overly expensive, I think. How many supply lines you got? Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, I like the army, but I don't think it's perfect. Against, all situations. Anyway, that's the end of this one here. Appreciate this being sent in. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. Bye.